Right. We need to talk about the loaf in your fridge. You put it there to keep it fresh. Instead, you've put it in the one place in your entire kitchen scientifically proven to ruin bread fastest. Faster than the counter, faster than the bread bin, faster than just about anywhere in the next few minutes. What stale bread actually is. Because it's not what you think, why the fridge supercharges it, why supermarket bread seems immune, and a trick that genuinely unstales bread. That one sounds like sorcery. It's just physics. First, the myth. Everyone thinks stale bread is bread that dried out, but here's the proof that's wrong. Seal a loaf in an airtight bag, no moisture escaping anywhere, and at times still times goes stale. Hard, crumbly, sad. So if the water didn't leave, what happened? What happened is called retrogradation. When bread bakes, its starch melts into a soft, swollen, flexible gel that's the fluffy crumb. From the moment it cools, those starch molecules start snapping back into hard, orderly crystals. The bread isn't drying, it's times crystallizing. Stale bread is bread whose starch turned back into tiny rocks. And here's the kicker: the speed of that crystallization depends on temperature, and not in the direction you'd guess. Don't take my word for it, this experiment has been run for nearly a century. 2 identical loaves, 3 days. The counter loaf, a bit tired, still decent. The fridge loaf, a building material, same bread, same bag, same water content. The only difference was temperature. Starch retrogradation runs fastest at just above freezing, exactly fridge temperature. Bread stored in the fridge can stale several times faster than bread left on the counter. The counter is a slow lane. The fridge is a motorway. And the freezer? The freezer is a red light below about -5. The molecules lock in place and crystallization essentially stops. Why there, of all places? Crystals need 2 things: molecules slow enough to line up, but still free enough to move. Room temperature too jiggly, they can't settle. Freezer locked solid, they can't move at all. The fridge is the horrible sweet spot. Slow enough to organize, warm enough to keep organizing. Your fridge is a crystal factory. So the rule is beautifully simple. Bread never goes in the fridge. Counter for this week, freezer for later. There's no in between. And do the freezer properly. Slice the loaf times first, then freeze it flat in a bag. Now you can pull out exactly 1 slice and it goes straight into the toaster, no thawing needed. The freezer holds bread wherever you paused it. But doesn't freezing ruin bread? No, that's the fridge's propaganda. Freezing pauses bread almost perfectly. What ruins frozen bread is bad. Wrapping air in the bag gives you freezer burn and dried edges. Squeeze the air out, seal it flat, and a slice from last month toasts up like a slice from this morning. Now the sorcery. What if I told you stale bread can be brought back from the dead? Remember, staling is crystallization, and crystals can be melted. Heat bread past about 60 degrees Celsius, and the starch crystals dissolve back into the soft gel they came from. This is real refreshing at the molecular level. The bread genuinely unstales. Here's the method. Run the crust briefly under the tap. Yes, wet the bread. Trust me then, 10 minutes in a hot oven, about 180. The water steams the crumb soft, the heat melts the crystals, and the crust recrisps. It comes out shockingly close to fresh baked. One catch. Resurrection is temporary. A revived loaf re-stales within hours and faster than the first time because the crystals already know the way back. So revive only what you'll eat right now. This is a same meal trick, not a life extension. And no, toast doesn't count as revived bread. Toast is a different food entirely. That golden brown surface is the Maillard reaction, heat building hundreds of brand new flavor compounds that were never in the loaf. Which is why stale bread makes better times toast, and why, as a butter cube, I keep my distance from the stuff. I've lost family to toast. Quick word on bags, because packaging is a trade-off. Plastic traps moisture, crumbs stay soft, but a crusty loaf turns leathery. Paper lets the crust stay crisp, but the crumb dries faster. So crusty artisan loaves in paper, eaten within a day or 2. Soft sandwich bread in its plastic. On the counter, the plastic is fine. The fridge was the crime. This, by the way, is why the humble bread bin works. It's not magic, it's a humidity buffer. Sealed enough to stop the crumb drying out, vented enough that moisture doesn't pool and grow mold. Your grandmother's bread bin was doing food science before food science had a name. So why does supermarket sliced bread stay soft for 2 weeks? Because it cheats. Factories add anti-staling enzymes, amylases that snip the starch into pieces too short to crystallize, plus emulsifiers that coat the starch and slow the process further. It's clever chemistry, and it's why shop bread and bakery bread live completely different lives. Pour one out for the baguette, though nothing can save it. Lean dough, no fat, thin crust, huge surface area. A baguette is born dying. It's genuinely a same-day bread. The French buy them daily because chemistry gave them no choice. If you've got half a baguette at midnight, freeze it before bed. By morning, it's already gone. One honest exception. The fridge does slow mold. If it's the height of summer, humid, and your bread grows fur in 2 days, fridge stale bread beats moldy bread. But even then, the freezer wins on both counts. No mold, no staling. The fridge is never the best answer. It's occasionally the second worst. While we're ranking breads, sourdough is the marathon runner. The acids from fermentation change how the starch behaves and slow retrogradation, so a good sourdough is still decent on day 3 or 4 when a white sandwich loaf has gone to crumbs. If you hate waste, buy sour. And if the bread's already stale, congratulations, you're holding an ingredient. French toast, panzanella, breadcrumbs, these dishes weren't invented despite stale bread. They were invented times it. Dry, rigid crumb soaks up custard and dressing that would turn fresh bread to mush. Stale bread isn't dead bread. It's bread with a second career. The recap. Stalling is crystallization, not drying. Counter this week, freezer for later slice before you freeze. The fridge is the fastest way to stale a loaf. A splash of water plus a hot oven literally reverses time briefly. And a loaf past saving is breadcrumbs waiting to happen. Your bread bin thanks you. Now, one last thing. You've fixed the bread, you dunk it in your soup, and it's fine. Just fine. A bit flat. So you add salt. Still flat. More salt. Now it's salty and flat. Here's the thing, whatever your food is missing, it's usually not salt. And in the next video, I'll show you the one bottle in your cupboard that fixes flat food instantly. It's probably not the one you're thinking of.